A couple gets into a car accident. In their final moments, they make a promise: if there's a next life, all it takes is one kiss and they'll recognize each other. So the girl carries her memories from her past life and waits 20 years. But what falls from the sky isn't her lover, it's a meteorite that looks just like him. The moment this absurd 4-panel comic hit the school paper, it had everyone cracking up. Fujino soaked in the praise from classmates and teachers, and gradually lost herself in all the flattery.
Like this? Actually, I was kinda busy this week, so I drew the whole thing in like 5 minutes.
Until that day, a mysterious student named Kiyomoto perfectly recreated every corner of the school in her own 4-panel comic. Same format, same grade level, but with a far more polished and mature art style that absolutely shattered Fujino's pride. The classmates wouldn't stop talking about it. Fujino stood there stunned. In that moment, the girl who'd always felt special suddenly seemed just as ordinary as everyone else. On the walk home, she realized all the compliments people used to give her were now being said about Kiyomoto. She refused to accept it. How could someone her own age draw better than a so-called genius? She couldn't let that stand, so she bought stacks of art references and threw herself into grinding her skills. Rain or shine, summer or winter, her small figure stayed hunched over that desk, head down, pen never stopping. 2 years flew by, and her hard work finally paid off. Just kidding, 2 years of obsessive drawing earned her isolation from classmates and confusion from her family. She became an outcast, but she kept drawing anyway. Then the school paper came out again, and she saw Kiyomoto's latest work. One comic looked slightly childish, the other was approaching professional quality. No matter how hard she tried, she just couldn't surpass Kiyomoto. In that moment, Fujino let go. She put down her pen and released that obsession. She rejoined her friend group, walked home with them, practiced karate with her sister, and cherished time with family. Everything seemed to return to normal, but on graduation day, a teacher asked her to deliver Kiyomoto's diploma. Despite her reluctance, she went. Kiyomoto's house was strangely empty except for an unusually long hallway, its walls stacked floor to ceiling with drawings. Seeing this, Fujino finally understood why she could never win. Maybe still bitter, she picked up a blank 4-panel sheet and drew mocking caricatures of Kiyomoto.
We're here at the Weird Hermit World Finals, and Kiyomoto is in first place by a commanding lead.
She admired her handiwork, but then the paper slipped through the crack under Kiyomoto's door. Panic and embarrassment flooded her. She dropped the diploma and bolted. Before she got far, a voice called out.
Fujino-sensei!
Kiyomoto was an extreme introvert. Talking to strangers was basically a death sentence, but she'd mustered every ounce of courage to chase Fujino down and stammer out, "I'm your biggest fan."
Actually, honestly, I'm a huge fan of your manga work. Can I have an autograph? I don't have any paper. Maybe you could just sign my back. Please sign it.
She poured out everything she could, recite every issue of the school paper. Fujino's stories weren't just funny. What really impressed her was the discipline to submit every single week. She'd noticed Fujino's storytelling and art improving steadily since 5th grade. After getting an autograph, Kiyomoto dropped the real question: why did you stop drawing? Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was not wanting to let Kiyomoto down. Fujino played it cool and lied. "I'm preparing for a manga competition, working on something even better."
No way! I want to see it. Would you show it to me? Please, I really want to see it.
Inside, she was over the moon. Rain started falling, giving her an excuse to say goodbye. But on the walk home, she couldn't contain herself anymore. For the first time, she realized her existence could be someone else's light. Fujino picked up her pen again. This time she wasn't alone. 2 small figures hunched over their desk side by side, lost in the world of manga day and night, rain or shine. They drew from dawn to dusk, from falling leaves to blooming flowers. In just 1 year, their first child was born. That work won them the manga competition championship as middle school artists and earned them their first real money. Fujino treated them to a lavish celebration, 100,000 yen, spent on food, fun, and movies in the big city. Hand in hand, they lived their best lives at the best age. In that moment, it felt like the sun shone only for them. On the train home, Kiyomoto thanked Fujino from the bottom of her heart. Because of drawing, she met Fujino. Because of Fujino, she found the courage to leave her room. As the sunset painted the sky, the train carried them home and toward whatever lay ahead. They drew stories by the seaside, created cicada monsters under the trees, and invented a crab-eating character at an inn. Combining their names, they published under the pen name Kiyo Fujino. By 17, they published 7 short works. A publisher came knocking, hoping they'd start a serialization. Fujino was thrilled. This meant becoming a real manga artist. She agreed immediately. Kiyomoto, without a shred of hesitation, flatly refused. Fujino was stunned. She never imagined that shy, timid Kiyomoto had her own vision all along. Fujino played it cool like when they first met, but kept pushing back because she didn't want Kiyomoto to leave.
Do you have any idea how boring it's gonna be? You don't mean that. You'll be bored out of your skull. Not to mention, there's absolutely no way you can handle college life on your own. Huh? I can too. I'll learn how to do it. Get real! You're so shy you can't even talk to the cashier at the convenience store. I'll practice. But you're still gonna be you! Yeah, but... What?
I just wanna be a better artist.
From that day, Fujino returned to working alone. She sat at her desk like a machine, churning out hit serializations, drafts piled up on the walls, references stacked on the desk. The view outside, the window never seemed to change. Only now, where there used to be 2 figures, there was just one. Despite hiring many assistants over the years, none could replace Kiyomoto. After hanging up with her editor, one day, a news broadcast caught her attention. There'd been a random killing at Kiyomoto's university. Fujino grabbed her phone and frantically called. No answer. Then her mother called. She heard the news she dreaded most. Her mind snapped back to that snowy day when she'd said, if we ever get a serialization, I wanted to have top-tier artwork. That one sentence was why Kiyomoto had decided to study art. She wanted to draw something worthy of Fujino's stories. Only now did Fujino understand. But Kiyomoto's smile was frozen forever in a memorial photo. Fujino stood outside Kiyomoto's room, unable to go in. The hallway was still stacked with practice books plus every volume of Fujino's serialization. Even now, Kiyomoto had been her most loyal fan. Numbly, Fujino picked up a manga, flipped through it, and found that old 4-panel comic from years ago. It hit her she was the one who killed Kiyomoto. If she'd never drawn that comic, Kiyomoto would never have walked out of this room, never gone to art school, never crossed paths with that killer.
Why'd I ever draw this? Drawing is a waste of time. It doesn't save anyone.
She tore the comic to shreds, but the pieces slipped under the door just like before and drifted through time like butterflies, landing in Kiyomoto's room at the exact moment they first met. Only this time, the torn pieces read, "Don't come out." Outside the door, Fujino called out. But this time, Kiyomoto pressed her lips shut and stayed inside. Fujino simply left the diploma at the door. The world shifted subtly. Kiyomoto never met Fujino, but her dream of drawing never changed. Years later, she still went to art school. She still encountered the killer.
Judging me, looking down at me. That was my idea of mine! You're just a dirty little thing!
But history's path had been altered this time. Kiyomoto survived. The one who saved her was Fujino, who'd only sprained her ankle. Without ever meeting Kiyomoto, Fujino had gone down the path of karate instead. In the ambulance, Kiyomoto expressed deep gratitude and asked for her contact info, then discovered her savior was Fujino, her idol. Fate seemed to come full circle. As they parted, Kiyomoto gathered her courage to ask the questions that had always haunted her. Why did you stop drawing? Fujino didn't answer directly. She just said, I recently started drawing again. When my manga gets serialized, come be my assistant. Watching the ambulance drive away, Kiyomoto's heart wouldn't settle. Perhaps in another timeline, the Kiyomoto who watched Fujino disappear into the rain felt the same excitement. She bounced home happily, sat in her tiny room, and flipped through her treasured collection of 4-panel comics. She noticed one blank 4-panel sheet, probably from when Fujino had stopped drawing. On impulse, she drew today's rescue on it. A breeze blew through the window, lifting the paper from her hands. The camera reversed as the page drifted on the wind toward the door, slipped through the crack, and floated to the other side, landing in front of Fujino, who had just lost her best friend.
I'll kill you!
Aren't you the amazing Fujino?
I'm glad you're not hurt. And with that, my job here is done.
Fujino stared at that door in disbelief, as if Kiyomoto were standing right on the other side. She slowly opened it, but no miracle waited. Mountains of manga, scattered art supplies, a half-open window, the comic in her hand must have blown in from outside. Even after all this time apart, Kiyomoto had been quietly supporting her from behind. She turned and spotted her own autograph. The coat she'd signed for Kiyomoto was hanging neatly on the door, as if its owner were still right here. Memories crashed over her, like a tidal wave. She remembered once telling Kiyomoto, I don't actually like drawing manga. It's boring, tedious, and unimpressive. Being a reader is way better. Then she paused and said, the reason I draw manga is because of you. Because readers enjoy it. Because readers look forward to it. Aren't those reason enough to keep going? In that dark little room, Fujino curled up and stared at the to be continued on her manga's final page, tears streaming down her face. She slowly stood up, walked to the coat with her name on it, took a deep breath, and stepped out into the snow-covered town, heading where she needed to go. She returned to her studio, taped that blank 4-panel sheet to the window, picked up her pen, and started drawing once more.